people had well-formed opinions, and the vast majority leaned toward get over it, censure the guy, and get back to the serious business of running this country. But the folks in D.C. seemed to be living in a parallel universe, one that didn't put the needs of the citizens above the advantage to be gained through partisan politics. In response, we sent out a one-sentence petition to fewer than 100 friends and family members. Congress must immediately censure President Clinton and move on to pressing issues facing the nation. This was a message that we felt comfortable sending to progressive and conservative friends and family alike. We asked them to sign and tell their friends about it. We wanted the circus to stop. Registering www.moveon.org, we set up a simple website and quickly learned what it meant for a message to become viral. More than 100,000 people signed our petition in a week. People were grateful. They had been watching a political drama unfold as they sat by speechless and impotent. At last they had found a voice and were moved to action. The massive response put us on the spot. We felt responsibility for creating this powerful coming together of people. We would certainly deliver the petition, but what next? We had much to learn. In the following weeks, we helped people send emails, make phone calls, and even set up meetings with their members of Congress. And when the House voted to impeach, the Move On Political Action Committee asked people to support new leadership in Congress. By the time the impeachment fiasco was over, our member list exceeded 500,000, and the Move On PAC had millions of dollars pledged for good candidates in the 2000 election. After that election, we expected to cease operations and leave online activism to established groups. However, our members very much wanted us to continue and made it obvious that our work was not done. So we kept going, and along the way, the Move On team has grown to 8 incredibly talented and dedicated individuals. Members are familiar with the letters that come from us and Carrie, Peter, Zach, Eli, James, and Noah. Just as we are fortunate to have such passionate members, we are fortunate to have the hardworking and heartfelt partnership of the Move On team. As we grew, we set out to learn what Move On members believed were the most pressing issues facing our nation. What were their concerns and hopes? We developed democratic processes for online participation. From email communications, surveys, and our action form, we discovered what members cared most deeply about, and our primary issues for 2001 and 2002 were campaign finance reform and the environment. Our campaign to avert war in Iraq propelled us onto center stage in 2002. Members had constituent meetings in Senate offices in every state of the Union, delivering petitions asking for a diplomatic resolution to the situation in Iraq. The Win Without War Coalition formed and became a strong voice for peaceful resolution of the conflict. It brought together more than 20 diverse groups: National Council of Churches, Sierra Club, Physicians for Social Responsibility, NAACP, NOW, True Majority, Working Assets, labor groups, and others. Move On members made phone calls, wrote letters to the editor, handed out brochures in public places in March. When we asked them to support our first ad, a full page in the New York Times headlined, "Let the Inspections Work," members knocked our socks off with their response. We were hoping to raise $35,000. We got $400,000 from more than 10,000 individual contributions. As of January 2004, we have over 1.8 million active members in the United States. People who haven't had time for politics are reading, talking, asking questions, and engaging. Even better, other groups are connecting online. The AFL-CIO presently has 1.2 million online activists. Planned Parenthood has more than 400,000, and the Natural Resources Defense Council has more than 600,000. As people connect with the political dialogue on issues they care about, it's only a matter of time before our politicians will better reflect our values. We set high standards for things we love. Because we love our country, our freedoms, our diversity, and our traditions, we strive to help our country be its best. We feel blessed to live in a country where we have the freedom to speak out, the right to assemble, and the tradition of political action by ordinary citizens. After hearing the more than 2,500 stories of personal action and paring the book down to 50 essays, and that was very difficult, we are in awe of our contributors and trust that these stories will dispel any foolish cynicism about public apathy. When we feel overwhelmed, we read these narratives and we are inspired. Engagement in the political dialogue, large or small, breathes life into us all. Thank you for all you do.
Part 1. The Power of Connecting, with an introduction by Peter Sherman. Executive Director, MoveOn. Read by Peter Sherman.
We live in the 3rd century of the world's most important political experiment, the founding of an American democracy, of, by, and for the people. Our founders were well aware of the forces aligned against democracy: greed, avarice, and ambition. So they designed an elaborate system of checks and balances to dampen these dark impulses and to unleash our instincts to work together to build a better future for our children. Today, there are reasons for deep concern. Democracy is threatened by 2 forces that could swamp the dream of government by the people: the power of corporate money and the power of the media. But just as technology created the modern media and the modern multinational corporation, technology has also given individuals an amazing new ability to connect to each other and take action together. This newfound ability to connect is transforming politics. Connecting is the key. It's the only way we can preserve democracy. The Internet presents the best opportunity we've had in decades to make connecting easier, quicker, and cheaper. And the millions of people connecting through organizations like True Majority, Common Cause, People for the American Way, Sierra Club, AFL-CIO, Natural Resources Defense Council, Working Assets, and MoveOn are proving that it works. Together, organizations big and small are winning more victories, stopping parts of the right-wing agenda in its tracks, and sometimes even passing visionary legislation like a new California law that can help the whole country curtail greenhouse gas emissions. Connecting online offers certain basic compelling advantages. The contributors in this section are going to describe how to use them, so I'll just list them briefly here. Online contact is inexpensive. For example, if you set up an online petition, the cost for each new person who signs is almost zero. It's effective. Thousands of voices can come together quickly online and count heavily with legislators, who often hear nothing from constituents but a lot from paid lobbyists. And it's motivating. Once you take the first step of forming connections online, you can build relationships online and off and take increasingly powerful actions. We've got to remember to reach outside our circles of comfort, too. Especially on the Internet, it's easy to isolate ourselves in like-minded communities, to pay attention only to news sources that confirm our beliefs. In a polarized society like ours today, it can be hard to remember that we've got to engage in respectful dialogue and build on our shared values with those who disagree with us on some issues. I've traveled across the country a couple of times, and wherever I've gone, I've met people who shared certain basic values: civility, optimism, and a commitment to doing the right thing. I've found these values just as often in states considered conservative, like Indiana and Idaho, as in progressive states, like Massachusetts and California, or even more often. America is held together by an overwhelming majority of people who share a basic belief in leaving a better world for future generations, and who are willing to fight for it if given an opportunity. Connecting online can be that opportunity. Like the contributors in this section, we can connect with others, and together turn our country around.
Number 1. Create an Effective Online Petition by Dorothy Keeler, age 51, Anchorage, Alaska. Dorothy Keeler is a professional wildlife photographer activist who lives with her husband Leo. The Keelers have appeared on CBS News in regard to their conservation efforts, and they're now moving their entire business to www.akwildlife.com, so they'll have more time for activism. Here is Dorothy Keeler reading her own contribution, Create an Effective Online Petition.
The wolves of Denali National Park were in danger, and we had to spread the word fast. As wildlife photographers, my husband and I have worked with the Toklat wolves in Denali since 1990. The Toklat and sanctuary wolves had been seen and enjoyed by tens of thousands of visitors each year inside the park. They were remarkably accepting of humans at close distances, making them unique among wild wolves. However, during the winter, both packs would leave the safety of the park on hunting forays, where they were routinely trapped and killed. Near the park entrance, the entire sanctuary pack was killed by trappers. The Toklat family dropped from a high of 18 members in the early 1990s to just 2 in 1990.
To keep listening to this audiobook, I've left you a link in the description so you can do it, at no cost thanks to Audible's 30-day free trial.